All right, let's get into some examples of basic nth roots. In example 1, evaluate the nth roots without a calculator. Identify those that are not real numbers. Okay, let's get into these. In A, I have square root of 4/9. That's the same as square root of 4 over square root of 9, which is 2/3. Square root of 0.04. Decimals, I don't like. If I read this out loud, it would be 4/100ths. So this is the same as the square root of 4/100ths, which would be 2/10ths or 1/5 after I reduce it. So negative square root of 144 means we want the negative square root, which would be -12. It's a perfect square. Now, square root of -144, remember there is no real number that squares to make a negative. So this one would be 12i, an imaginary root. All right, let's keep it going. In example E, once again, I have a decimal. This is 25/100ths. So this is square root of -25 over 100. Square root of -25 would be 5i over 10 or I over 2. An imaginary root because it's negative. All right, cube root of 64. What to the third power gives me 64? That answer is 4. Letter G, the fifth root of -32. What to the fifth power would give me -32? That is -2. Now I want the negative fourth root of 81. What to the fourth power is 81? That is 3 with the negative in front. Now the fourth root of -16. Now 2 to the fourth power is 16, and -2 to the fourth power is also +16. So there's no real number that raises to be -16. So that would be 2i. All right, the fifth root of -1. Now, what to the fifth power is -1? Well, that is a real number, -1. Now, what about the sixth root of -1? Let's see, -1 to the sixth power is 1. +1 to the sixth power is 1. So that means this has to be -1i, an imaginary root. Now, -343 to the third root of that, well, that would be -7. Now, the fourth root of -81, I have an even root of a negative number. That is going to be an imaginary root. Once again, an even root of a negative number I know is going to be imaginary. This is, as a fraction, square root of -16/100ths, which is -4i over 10, which reduces to be -2i over 5. So remember, when we have a even root of a negative, you will have an imaginary answer. Okay, great. Let's try some more examples.